What have we done? He is disfigured beyond recognition. A mangled mess beyond human likeness. His form marred. His face bloated, his body torn, a disfigured form of flesh and bone, blood and water, labored breath and misshapen eyes. What have we done? To him? To us? What have we done? Looking at Jesus, can we see what we've been told? Can we hear the cries suspended between heaven and earth? Can we taste the presence of death suffocating the author of life? What have we done? This isn't how the story began. So how is this the way the story is ending? He grew up like a tender shoot, a root piercing the dry ground, offering promise to the broken, offering hope to the forgotten, offering beauty to the barren. This isn't how the story began. So how is this the way the story ends? People flocked to Jesus. Not because of his grandeur, not because of his appearance, for it wasn't a show. It wasn't a parade. It wasn't filled with frills and fluff, but a tender word, a soft gaze, a gracious smile, a presence of peace so rare in our world, so fleeting in our hearts, so alluring to the near and the far. This isn't how the story began. So how is it now that he is so despised? How is it now that he is so easily rejected? So how is it now that he is so familiar with pain? This isn't how the story began. So how is it now that people hide their faces from him instead of seeking his tender gaze? Why do people mock and taunt him instead of laud and praise him? Why is he treated as a man of sorrows instead of the king I know him to be? What have we done? Even now, he cries out on our behalf, asking God to forgive our abuse. Yet we consider him punished by God, stricken by God, afflicted by God. What have we done? Justice miscarried. Innocence cut short. Dreams altered, hope betrayed, purpose confused because of our brokenness, because of our wounds. Wounds that fester with envy and burn with vengeance. Wounds that pierce the light with the insatiable appetite of a darkness beyond dark, with a pain beyond pain, with a sin that pierces the peaceful, that crushes the kind, that punishes the patient. Like sheep, we wander away, turning to our ways instead of his, to our wounds instead of his. For by his wounds, we are healed. Yet by ours, he is broken. But he did not open his mouth in protest. And neither did we. He did not abort our choices. And neither did we. He did not fight against the hands of his oppressors or the verdict of his judges. Like a lamb led to the slaughter, he was silent. Embracing our desires to extinguish his life. Embracing our plans to plunder his storehouse, submitting to our demands to cut him off from the land of the living, even though he had done no violence, even though there was no deceit in his mouth, even though there was no malice in his heart. Why? Why not rise up, O Lord, and accuse your accusers? Why not stand up, O Lord, and punish your persecutors? Why not fight, sovereign King, for what is not at your disposal? Call down the legions of angels to set the wrongs right. Rend the heavens so that fire can consume the evil ones. Come down from this cross and ascend to your majestic throne. For this is not how the story was supposed to end. This was not how it was supposed to end. With you beaten, with you broken, with you numbered with the harlots and the hateful, the victims and the victimizers, the murderers and the molesters, bearing their sins. For you are without guilt. You are without guile. You are without flaw or fury, impatience or impairment, for you were the Christ, the Son of the living God. And now it's finished. You cry from the cross, it is finished. What is finished? My hope? My joy? My King? Darkness. Darkness fills the land. Yet light begins to dawn. The earth begins to quake, yet heaven begins to sing. The veil is torn and the presence of God revealed by his wounds. We are drawn to him by his wounds. Injustices absorbed in him by his wounds, for by his wounds we are healed. By his wounds, we are made whole. By his wounds, we can see. By his wounds, we can hear. By his wounds, we can taste grace and face the fury of the hate, ignited by his mercy. By his wounds, all is undone and all is redone. By his wounds. For by his wounds, God is revealed to the sinner and the saint, to the homeless and the homeowner, to the peasant and the prince, to the pastor and the prostitute, to the forgotten and the revered, to the addict and the arrogant, to the infertile and the infantile, to the passive and the passionate. By his wounds, God is revealed. And we are made whole. For by his wounds, it is finished. At the cross, it is finished. Brokenness is finished. Injustice is finished. Wounds done by us and to us are finished by his life, by his brokenness, by his pain, by the cross, by his wounds. It is finished. All is finished. For at the cross, are undone. I am undone. What have we done? No. What has He done? He's restored what I did to Him, to myself, to others. By His wounds, it is finished.